So today we're going to be going over some discussion notes that we're going to use either today or Thursday, depending on how far we get. This is what they look like. So they look kind of scary at first, but they're not. They're not that scary if you pay attention. Okay. So if you look up here, week 8, Champion of Quiet discussion notes. Remember, we read this text, the Champion of Quiet. And if you didn't read it, you listened to me read it on YouTube, and that's linked in the assignment. So you don't have to worry about not being able to not remembering it, because you can just click this and have me read it again to you. But we're going to go over some questions for it that we're going to use to participate in a discussion. So you see this thing at the you see this part at the top. Part 1 and part 2. So every question has 2 parts. And when you're answering the questions, you're going to use something from part 1 and something from part 2. So part 1 should look familiar. You've used these before for your Flipgrids. I believe that, I claim that, I suppose that, I think that, I know that, I feel that. So we're not going to use any level 4s today, but we are going to use level 3 and 2. Part 2 is something you haven't seen yet. So part 2 is what we use when we're giving evidence. I chose one for you today, and that is for example. You're going to use that for all of part 2. All right. So we're going to go through a couple of these together. Now let's read the question. In the short story, so the Champion of Quiet, Maggie and her teammates have fun playing basketball, even though they lose. Why does this make them happy? So I go up here, I see part 1. Why does it make them happy that they're playing basketball even though they lose? I think I would choose I believe that for that one. So I believe that they had fun playing together and did not think about winning or losing. Just about having fun with friends. So you see how I believe that in the beginning. I got that from my part 1 thing up top. And then I gave a reason. I believe that they had fun playing together and did not think about winning or losing, just about having fun with friends. Now for part 2. Let's read the part 2 of the question. Give an example. Oh, works perfect. Give an example of a time when you had fun just by being yourself. Oh, so this is about me. What do I do that's fun when I'm by myself? Oh, I could choose video games, but sometimes I like to win or lose video games. Oh, I know. For example, see, I got that right there from part 2. For example, when I play golf by myself, I have a great time. I am not trying to win or lose, just to have fun. I could actually put right here. I am just trying to have fun. And there we go. We have part 1 and part 2. So when we talk about this in class, and I ask the question, I say, so Maggie and her teammates have fun playing basketball, even though they lose. Why does that make them happy? And then I'd be like, anyone want to share? No one? Anyone? Okay, I'll call on somebody. How about Josue? Because there's a Josue in each class. So how about Josue? And then Josue comes to his notes and he says, okay, I can't think of anything different right now, so I'll just use what I have in my notes. I believe that they had fun playing together and did not think about winning or losing, just about having fun with friends. And I'd be like, oh, great, Josue. Great, Josue. Can you give an example of a time where you had fun just by being yourself? I'd be like, not off the top of my head, but what if I just look at my notes? Oh, okay, I got one. For example, when I play golf by myself, I have a great time. I'm not trying to win or lose, I am just trying to have fun. And thank you for sharing, Josue. Does anyone else have an example? And then someone else could share what they have. Does that make sense? I think it makes pretty good sense. And then we go down here. Next question. In the short story, Maggie chooses to change the way things are by volunteering to be a captain. How is Maggie brave when she makes the choice to raise her hand? So how is she brave? So let's say I want to use I think that, I could use I know that, I could use I believe that. Let's just say I go with I believe that again. I believe that Maggie is brave because, right? And then you can go on and give your reason. I'm not going to do this one for you. Then you could describe a time when you showed bravery because you wanted to make a change. This one's hard. This one you have to do some thinking. To think back in your past. Describe a time when you showed bravery because you wanted to make a change. All right, so you're thinking, okay, for example, one time I was brave is when I, stood up for my little brother when someone was picking on him. Right? And you wanted them to change their behavior. Describe a time when you showed bravery because you wanted to make a change. You wanted someone to change their behavior when they were picking on your little brother. Right? So there's an example there. I'm not going to leave that there for you. You got to do your own. Okay, so I'm also going to erase this one. But that's what our discussion is going to be like today. Okay? Or we'll either get to it today or tomorrow, depending on how well students do on this. Okay? I'll see you in class.